Hello again guys, welcome back to another Big Al Devlin video here at the House of Devlin, and today is a bit of a different video actually. It's a review video, but not of mead or anything along those lines, but actually a review of another birthday present that I had off my wonderful girlfriend, and that is the review of the Fitbit Blaze watch. Now I will be going over a review of the watch itself. I'll show you as much as I can, although obviously we're somewhat limited on a camera and all the rest of it. And I will show you, and probably mostly focusing upon the features of the app itself, which the watch links to onto your phone. So it gives you all the feedback that you can possibly imagine. It allows you to also input data, such as your dietary intake also, and can show you then on a graphical format the amount of calories you're burning, and that's done very accurately. It's according to your body weight and the amount of activity that you've done during the day, and providing you've worn the watch the whole day, it will be very accurate because it's GPS. As long as you have your GPS turned on your phone, it will actually track how far you're walking. So you know, the thing is, with a lot of like pedometers and stuff like this, for example, they're set to a certain stride length, and that will be down to average height. We don't all have the same stride length as one another, and so when you look at and same with running length, and if you go out and you go on a run with a pedometer of some form or another, unless you can modify those values, you'll get a sort of average figure for the distance. So you're never 100% certain on how far you've ran, but because this is linked to your GPS on your phone, you can actually see a map of the path that you took. Even when you do go for a run or a walk, you can actually link it up, and when you have it the GPS on, and you get, say you're going for a run or a walk, and you want it, you know, tracked and all the rest of it, it will actually show you the route that you took and the exact distance as a result that was, how many steps you did in that time period, and obviously the stride length, or your average stride length that you took. And it knows when you're going faster, because when you're starting to cover a distance at a quicker pace, it will then know that you're running, and obviously when you're doing it at a slow pace, it will know that you're walking. Consequently, as a result of this, and if you set it to run, for example, it will measure your stride length whilst you're running, and it will give you it will alter the figures on your app specifically for yourself. Now I have my walking stride length already recorded, but I don't have a running stride length because I haven't gone running yet. Obviously that may be on the treadmill and things like this, but that's what the watch itself looks like. It comes with like a kind of rubber strap, and the watch itself, what you do is you pop that watch out of the back and you put it into a specialized charger that they provide, and that charger charges the whole watch. It takes about 2 hours to get fully charged, but that full charge will last for 5 days. I've been wearing this for a day and a half, and according to my phone, I've still got a 100% battery. I haven't used any battery life whatsoever, because of course it depends how often you turn this on as well, how quickly the battery will go. It should last a minimum of 5 days. Now, what I'm going to do is first of all show you the watch. I don't really want to take it off because it's on my sort of setting, but that is what it looks like on its home screen. Okay, so it's got my heart rate at the bottom, which if I tap, it's hard to do, and hang on, there we go, it will change the different figures that are displayed. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll read it now. So it will have distance covered, which is exactly there. It's in kilometers for myself. Obviously being British, we like to, well, we tend to work in miles, but I like kilometers, being European, I suppose I should say. And I've done 3.48 kilometers today, and you can change these to any settings you want, to miles, to kilometers. Your weight you can change to stone, or you can have it in kilograms, so on and so forth. I've burnt 3,144 calories today already, and it's 4 o'clock. It's just gone 4 o'clock when I'm filming this, so it gives you a rough idea on how many calories I burn in a day. And what I can do, so I can actually do a sort of this is just an initial review, an initial sort of showing of the product, but what I can do is later on I can do another video where I've got a little bit more data to share with you, because I haven't even got a full day's worth of data yet. Obviously I only had half a day yesterday after I fully charged the the watch and synced it all up. And I also today, I've only had really half a day so far where I've had it, I wore it overnight, so I do have a full amount of data to give you, because it actually records your sleep also, which is really interesting, and it tells you when you're on REM sleep, that's like when you're dreaming, how long you spend in it. It also tells you when you're in light sleep or deep sleep, or when you're actually awake, and you don't realise that you actually wake up for very brief periods of time during the night, and it will tell you thus, as a result, the total amount of time that you were asleep and the proportions of those hours that you were asleep for, how much of that was of what the different sort of cycles of sleep. But as you say, as I scroll for the figures, I've got a number of flights of stairs essentially that I've gone up. I've gone up 3 today. Number of steps, I've done 4,712 steps. It's the 4th of January, and then it's my heart rate, which is currently 66. It was a little lower than that. It was about 58 a minute ago. But basically, as I say, I'll give you the full analysis later of everything. But all you have to do is, first of all, when you're on here, if you link it to your phone, you can, if you just scroll up like that, or hit the side button that corresponds to it, normally for 3 seconds, there we go. What happens is that will give you any notifications that you've set that you want to go from your phone to your watch. So I have it as Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, I believe it is. Anything, any notifications that appear on there will come up on my watch, so I don't have to get the phone out of my pocket, which is convenient when you're running, walking. I suppose it's safer as well. You know, if you're outside walking in public, it's easy to check your watch and see just a brief preview of the notification, and see if it's worthwhile getting your phone out, then taking your phone out and risk someone trying to grab your phone or whatever. It's the world that we live in today, isn't it? The other one is you can click on that one and you can turn the notifications on or off, and if you sync it up to your phone, like I have with Bluetooth, as well as the additional syncing that you can do, then basically you can control your music on your phone. So I can click play and my phone will start playing music, and I can change the track. And again, that's very useful when it comes to running, because you can just go boom boom boom, change the track if you're on one that you don't like, and it will go. Now it's not just, the other way to get to that is just simply scrolling down, so it's all very easy. It's touch screen. The other thing is you can go across. You can get today, exercise, fit star, that's very good actually. Relax, that's a bit shit in my opinion, but you know, it's nice to have it there. Timer, alarms, so you can actually set alarms on this, and then settings. And settings is really where you do like things like brightness and stuff like that, and also like how it measures you, whether you turn Bluetooth on and things like this. So it's just the boring bits which we don't need to go in. Now if we click today, I will get a brief summary of everything I've just basically said to you, which you can get on your front display just by tapping it like I was doing. It will tell you the number of steps, your beats per minute, and your average, your resting heart rate, which for me is 44. I have a resting heart rate of 44. I've always had a slow heart, and that's my resting heart rate. The number of steps you've done in this hour, distance travelled in total, so on and so forth. It was all displayed there on today. Okay, and you just scroll down to read it, and you click this button here to go back. Wherever you are, you just click that to go back. When you click on exercise, you're telling the watch that you're about to do some exercise. Now obviously my first one, if you can see it, it's a bit hard, is weights. Okay, then I've got workout, which would be for me boxing and stretching and stuff like that. Then got treadmill. Okay, run. You're going for a run, and when you do run, that's when it connects to your phone, as I say, with the GPS, and it will actually do a sort of a path using sort of Google Maps basically, and record where you went and give you the exact distance you did, along with your running stride. It'll alter your running stride distance. You then got bike, okay, and elliptical. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. Then you've got Fitstar. Fitstar's actually very good. I thought it was going to be really shit, I'm going to be honest with you. I thought it was going to be really generic, crappy pieces of shit, exercises essentially, because that's what Fitstar is. It's essentially like a coach on your phone, so on your watch. Okay, you can tell it to tell you how to warm up, and it'll take you through a warm up routine. You can do a 7-minute workout. Okay, you can do a 10-minute worth of abs workout, and that's the one that I did today. And oh my god, it was hard. I had to give up about halfway through because even though my abs are strong, it's abs and core. It's a lot of core work, and core's my weakness. And so I'm really happy that I've got something that can motivate me and guide me on the exercises I need to do to eradicate any weaknesses that I have in my body, which in this case is my core and my abs, improve upon them, improve upon the power belly, so to speak. But it's nice actually to see the warm-up there. I might actually use it to help guide a warm-up, although I do a pretty good warm-up most of the time. To be honest, half the time I'm like, yeah, I can't be asked to warm up too much today. I'll warm up on the weights. But it's nice to have, something there. And I imagine it's full of stretches and stuff like that. As I say, I can give you a bit more of an idea when I've had a bit more experience of it. But I just wanted to show you my sort of initial impressions and how quickly I've sort of come to get to it. Now, relax, I'm not going to click on that, but relax takes you basically through a basic breathing routine, and it tells you that, shows you how quickly you should breathe in and breathe out and stuff like this. And it's all about just basically calming you down, trying to lower your heart rate, and just getting you to chill, just getting you to relax. I have found it quite useful. I did like it yesterday, and I'll do it again. But I'm actually quite knowledgeable on breathing exercises. One, because I've done sport my whole life. I know how to control my breathing to prevent like lactic acid buildup and stuff like that. And you can apply those kind of approaches. And breathing when you're weightlifting, for example, is a lot different, because there are points where you actually have to hold your breath to maintain stability. So I know, and I've done a lot of swimming in the past, so I know all about breathing, holding your breath, and all those kind of nuances. But nonetheless, it's nice sometimes to just have a guide to help you breathe in a chilled manner. It's something which I do find useful because I have severe PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, very severe, as severe as you get. And so I do often suffer from I wouldn't call them anxiety attacks, but I do get really bad. Well, no, I suppose that's what it is. I do sometimes get real bad anxiety. I don't panic, but I just start sort of becoming almost self-destructive because of it. Having that is one way where if you feel like you're starting to break down because the stresses of life are bearing down upon you, having that as an option, you can just go, okay, look, I'm going to calm myself down, because breathing actually does help reduce anxiety if you breathe in it correctly in a certain manner. Okay. Timer, very useful. It's got a stopwatch and it's got a countdown, so you can time someone else if you're coaching someone. Really useful for someone like me who makes their money in coaching people. But also that countdown is particularly useful because obviously, if you want to do a 2-minute round, you just set it on there, or 3-minute round, you set it on there, whether it's shadow boxing or sparring, you put it on there and it will then beep or it will vibrate depending on your settings. And tell you when the 2 or 3 minutes is up. Same thing with alarms. You can actually set your alarm to help you get up in the morning. And that is it. As I say, we've just got the settings. So that's the watch itself. But there's a lot more to it than just the watch. The watch is simply the tool that collects the information. And there's some interaction between you and the watch, obviously. But the watch is the tool that collects the information and then puts it onto. Oh no, you can't see a thing. Hang on, let's turn the brightness down. I didn't realise you couldn't see mobile phones on televisions. There we go, that's a bit better. It was a bit too bright. Okay, so there we go. So my heart rate's actually gone up. So as I speak, I get animated, as you can tell. I get excited, and I'm actually in a fat burn zone from just talking. It's a bit weird, that, isn't it? But I suppose it's because I'm not breathing, I'm holding my breath to talk to you. I talk very quickly, and as I say, I get animated, I get excited. Sometimes when I'm talking about things I don't want to talk about, like my PTSD and stuff, obviously that kind of stresses you out a little bit. So my heart rate's going a little bit on the fast side at the moment, but before, what it does, it just shows you the heart rate. I mean, my heart rate's normally in the sort of 50s, 60s, which it normally is. It's normally sort of 60 is, I'd say, the average most of the time. But my actual resting heart rate, when I'm totally relaxed and just chilling and stuff like this, when I'm doing nothing, is actually 44. So I've got, as I say, quite a slow heart rate. But for it to be up to 95 now, it's going down now that I'm sort of calming down. It's gone down to 92. There we go. You can actually see now it's got my resting heart rate of 44. Okay, and it's done that by collecting data over the last sort of 2 days. At the top of the screen, you've got the number of steps that I've done today. Okay, that's important. And I can click the arrow and show what I did yesterday. Obviously it's nowhere near as much because I only wore it for part of the day, and so you can just scroll through this almost like a calendar by clicking the arrows, as I did then. There's just arrows on the side, and when you do it, it changes the day, and you get then all the data that from what you've seen on previous days. And there's a share icon, so you can share this with other people, like on Facebook or whatever, to show you what progress you're making. It tells you again the same stuff as the phone: number of floors that you've gone up, the distance that you've travelled in kilometres for me, the calories that I've burnt, which has now gone up to 3,185, and the number of minutes that I've actually been active for, which is 150 minutes. Okay, 150 minutes today there, and that means that where I'm in that sort of what you saw when my heartbeat was a little high, when I'm in that sort of burn zone or greater. And I will actually read to you what it describes the different heart zones to be, and it works it out according to your age and everything along those lines. Okay, you set yourself targets, and you do this during the setup, and you can change the targets as you go along. I set myself as 5 workouts a week, which personal workouts, that's my own workouts. Obviously I do teach other people, so I actually am actually a lot more active than 5 days a week, but 5 times a week, but 5 of my workouts a week, you know, where there's a relative intensity to it. Obviously there's some degree of intensity when I'm training other people, but it's not as much as doing it myself. Here you have sleep, which we'll go into, and you can see my heart rate is going down now. I'm starting to calm down, getting less animated. You got your heart rate, which constantly updates, and you've got the number of, this is an interesting one, number of steps you're supposed to, according to this, and I like this. This is something, quite a new concept to me, really. Instead of doing like your one workout a day or whatever, and that's kind of it, you don't really have to do too much more after that, although you obviously have a bit of active rest and stuff. This, and you can actually set it to prompt you if you haven't met your targets on that hour, the last 10 minutes of an hour. It will prompt you. I've turned it off because I thought that would be annoying, especially if I'm asleep. It will prompt you if you haven't met your targets of for that particular hour, up to a maximum of 9. Your 9's the top target that you go for. So out of the 9 hours a day, you have to have done 250 paces or steps every hour. Okay, within those 60 minutes. If you do 249, won't count. Okay, so you've got to do 250 or more. Now if you do more, the excess is kind of lost. It didn't go into the next hour. Okay, but today I've been essentially active for 5 hours. I suppose, yeah, because I was relaxing this morning, but I went out about 11 today, which makes sense, 5 hours. I'm in my 6th hour of being active, and I've hit those 250 very easily every hour. And basically what that means is that for 9 hours a day, you're burning a certain number of calories, a minimum number of calories to help maintain weight. However, this is not, and this is where you'll see it here, your targets. Your targets are down to you. And those targets aren't necessarily just to maintain weight. They're not there to necessarily lose weight. You can see on my one, I hope you can see it, that it's to gain weight. I've set myself, I'm at the moment weighing in at 17 stone 10. I want to weigh 18 stone 4. Don't know by what period, but I set that on the 3rd of January. So, you know, I've only had a day of going towards it. And of course, I'll weigh myself, and it will prompt me to weigh myself every week. And I can kind of, if I click on that, I will be able to enter my, yeah, it's got a log weight area there, so I can log my weight, and I can see how my weight changes over time. Okay, now gaining weight is, and you can also set it for a percentage of body fat also, which I don't have a scales that measures body fat. I don't agree with them, because the problem is when you have a low heart rate like me, low resting heart rate, as I say, 44 as it says there, the electrical impulse that the scale sends into you, for example, is inaccurate for anyone who has a heart rate of 60 or less, a resting heart rate of 60 or less. So if I'm a guy resting heart rate of 44, it doesn't give me an accurate figure, so I don't use them. You know, if I had calipers, then I mean it might be worth an investment actually. Do get calipers, do the math, and then I can work out my body fat the old-fashioned and very, very accurate way. Calipers are the best way to work out your actual body weight. It's got water there, which I just need to update, because basically I've drank today. I've drank fluid, but it's not being water, so I need to walk out the water. I'm going to do it very scientifically. I'm going to look at my, for example, my sugary drinks that I've had during my workout, and I'm going to take the weight of the sugar, okay, and I know that, say, a litre of water, for example, that's a kilogram. It weighs a kilogram. Then I've had a litre of fluid, so it's a kilogram minus the weight of whatever sugars or whatever else is present in the drink, and so that way I know how much I've drank there, and I can add that in. But I haven't got round to doing that yet. And the bottom one is calories. Calories eaten. So you can keep track of your diet and look at that according to then the amount of calories that you've burnt. Yeah, there you go. My heart's slowed down again now. It's gone down to 57, 58. Yeah, 58 now. So you can see I was very animated at the beginning of the at the beginning of the video. So it helps you calm down. Now, if I've just clicked edit, you can see there's also a thing about female health there, and it's about basically tracking your period. Okay, so obviously not useful for me, but you know, that might be helpful for family planning, for example, or if you have an issue with regards that. Okay, what we're going to do is what I'm going to do is click on calories. Okay, I've had 961 calories of food today, and it's 4 o'clock. Okay, you can see there, today is here. That's yesterday. The dark bars are how many calories I've burnt, and the blue is how much I've eaten. So I'm not eating enough. I'm not eating enough, which I knew. I didn't have to be told that. I do struggle eating. I need, like, help with my eating. My girlfriend helps me. My mom helps me. Things like this, right? So I do have. It was just a consequence of the car crash that I was in a few years back. I just forget to eat. I never feel hungry. So unless people tell me to eat, I don't really eat. It's just one of those things, There's no motivation to me to eat, other than I want to maintain my weight. I want to maintain my muscularity and my size, and I want to get bigger. I want to get stronger. But regards to the food side of things, I just don't want to eat. I just have no interest in it whatsoever. And so this helps, and this will be good for anyone else with an eating disorder. I don't know if I've got an eating disorder or not. I'm not labeling myself as that, but I don't see myself as having an eating disorder, but obviously I do, because I just don't eat enough. I didn't only yesterday I had 1900 calories, which is way under what a man of 70 kilos. It's under. Yeah, no, it's about 600 calories under what a man of 70 kilos should have, and I weigh about 115 kilos. So, yeah, and I'm active as well, very active. Yeah, it's not good. I should improve my eating, but this will help, because yesterday, actually, because of this, when I looked at it, it's almost like having a family member with me, like saying you need to eat. Because when I looked at it and I could see how much of a deficit I had to get it up to 1900 calories, I actually had an evening snack of a pan au chocolat. I had an evening snack. It was still a fairly healthy snack. I had a healthy snack, essential, semi-healthy snack late at night, just to give me an extra, I think it was 180, 190 calories. That was all, not much, but it was something a little bit more towards where I need to go. And I'm hoping that this will help me become a little bit more independent in the long term, not depend upon my family and that. To help me with my issues with eating. And so if you also have an eating disorder, it could be the opposite. It could be that you eat too much, or if you have the same as me where you don't eat enough, then this will help guide you on what you're eating, when you're sort of above or below. I'm constantly below the calories that I've burnt, but it does help, because I felt a little bit more energetic last night as a result when I ate. I felt a little bit better when I woke up, and stuff like this. And it encourages you to, because I put my food in as I go along, and what it does, it records your favourite foods. So if you name, you do add custom food, and you call it like spaghetti bolognese, for example. You find out the calories that are in a typical portion of spaghetti bolognese that you've weighed out. You weigh food if you want, or a typical portion. And obviously with things like sugary drinks, everything's labelled these days. It's easy to get the information. And what you can do is actually just click search, type it in, and see what comes up. And it actually has a list of all the figures you need for most foods. Like today, for lunch, I had a ham sandwich that my girlfriend made for me. And I didn't know what the hell was in a ham sandwich in regards to calories and protein and stuff. So I just typed in ham sandwich, mayonnaise, put it in, selected it. And it gave me, and it was the right amount, like a proper normal portion. And that's exactly what I had. And then now I've got that kind of saved as my sort of regular food. So whenever I have it now, or whenever I have, like, for example, an energy drink or anything like that, I just click on it and I say add. And I describe what it is. If it's I select one of the categories, like a morning snack or a lunch or dinner or an evening snack, that kind of thing, and it records it. And it records it down here, as you can see, and down towards the bottom. You do that every day. You can sort of keep a good sort of eye on what you're eating. And what it also does is it has your macronutrients also. So it tells you how many of your calories you're getting from whatever. So it will tell you what percentage of your calories are from carbohydrates. Mine is 69. How much is from fat? Mine is 21. How much is from protein? Which is 10%. Okay, so 69% for carbohydrates, 21% for fat, and 10% for protein. Now, it might not mean much to most people, and it doesn't to me at first, but you can click learn more. It will tell you about it. And for example, I think protein needs to be between 10 and 35. Fat needs to be between 20 and 35. So I'm at the lowest of them. Protein and fat, I'm at the very lowest I need to be at, regards my having a balanced diet, essentially, regards my calorie intake. And carbohydrates is just obviously bang in where it should be, maybe a little bit on the higher side, but I think that can be between 50 and whatever something percent, 50 and 80 or something. But I can just click learn more and check out what the figures are, but I can't be asked to do that in front of you guys because you'd be here all day. And as I say, it gives a summary there, like a fuel gauge, total in, total out for today. And just like before, I can scroll along. I mean, I can see it here, but I can scroll along and get different information, regards balance and stuff like this. So it's very good for diet. I think it's fantastic for diet. For setting goals, it's quite useful because it allows you to keep track of it. It's brilliant for keeping track of your heart rate. I love that. I love being able to have a sort of balance, a sort of presentation of my heart rate. I love the fact that it prompts you or tells you how many of the hours that of the day, up to 9 hours, you've actually achieved a target of 250 steps. That's brilliant, because if you're active for even just 250 steps is nothing. If you're active for 9 hours, a day, like to that level, then you're in a good level where you're maintaining not only weight or whatever, but you're maintaining health and cardiovascular health and just general sort of health of your joints and everything along those lines. I mean, you can also get a breakdown of your workouts, which I'll do last, actually, because now I want to talk about sleep. It records your sleep as long as you keep it on your wrist, obviously, at night. Obviously I'll click yesterday, and you get your graphical format and then your description here. So I slept yesterday for 7 hours and 53 minutes. Of that, I was actually awake during the sleep process. So awake, it doesn't mean that you're awake, but it means that you were sort of your brain isn't in sleep mode as such. You may be asleep, but it's that kind of half sleep where you kind of could get up if you wanted, but you don't want to. So like maybe early morning, for example, whilst you're waiting for your snooze, well, your alarm to go off, you often will wake up 10-15 minutes at least beforehand before your alarm, if you have a regular alarm, and you kind of like you're asleep, but you're kind of awake at the same time. It's that kind of awakeness. And I was awake last night for apparently an hour and 9 minutes, but it wasn't all in one go. The awake bits are all the red bits. So you can see I was being awake like randomly, and obviously most of it's at the beginning whilst you're trying to fall asleep. You kind of are you're awake, and then you suddenly slip into a light sleep, and then you wake up, you slip into a light sleep, then you wake up again, and then in my case I slipped down into an REM. I had a dream. Okay, so I'm obviously trying to go to sleep, but I'm it takes a little time to get to sleep. Then I go down here, and this is a deep sleep. This is the time. Anything down here is when I'm in a deep sleep, and that's a light sleep. And this is REM, is it? Let me just check. Oh no, REM's the light one, sorry. REM's these light blue, and this is light sleep, and that's deep sleep. So deep sleep, light sleep, REM, awake. Okay, and so you can see the balance of like how I was. As I was beginning to sort of get towards the time where I was waking up, I weren't in a deep sleep at all at any point. I was in light sleeps. I was getting little waking ups with a lot of REM, and then obviously finally I woke up completely. So it's good. Now, just to give you just what I had last night then, I was awake for a total of an hour and 9 minutes out of the 7 hours and 53 minutes that I was very asleep for. Of the 7 hours and 53 minutes, I was in REM, which is dream mode, essentially, for an hour and 45 minutes. I was in light sleep for 4 hours and 57 minutes, and I was in a deep sleep, which is the important sleep. You don't need a lot of this, but this is where you really rejuvenate your mind and rejuvenate your body. And I think really you should aim for about 3 hours, I think, if I remember correctly, 2 to 3 hours. And I had an hour and 11 minutes, so I weren't in deep sleep enough, unfortunately, but it's just one of those things. It's probably my dog waking me up, because the dog gets in and out of the bed. I have my dog sleep with me in the bed when I'm around at my girlfriend's, or if I have the dog around mine, he sleeps with me, and he'll get in and out because he gets hot and stuff, and as he does, he kind of wakes you up. It's probably why I've got little bits of it on my wake, or a little bit more aware. Now, the last stage is, well, the first stage actually is your workouts. So I've done 2 workouts. Yesterday's workout, which wasn't logged, but I inserted what I did. But then today's workout, and you can see I put in my weights workout that I did, how long I trained for, relative intensity, and things like this yesterday, right? And then today I've put in, I've recorded, I told my watch when I was training weights, for example, and it recorded the whole workout. So my first part of my workout, this was actually all one workout. As I say, I don't record my clients' workouts when I'm training people. I don't record that. I just let it just basically work out. It will know that I'm active, but it's not a workout as such. It will just record my heart rate, and it will record the amount of calories that I'm burning according to my heart rate, because your heart rate's is a heavy suggestion of what kind of type of exercise you're doing. Like, is it heavy, light, moderate exercise, so on and so forth, and how many calories you'll be burning according to your body weight and age. But if I was to click on the first bit, which lasted 48 minutes, I had an average heart rate of 81. 100% of the time I was in fat burn, and I burnt 292 calories. And then you get like a little graph of heart rate. I don't know if you can change that. Yeah, calories burnt. It shows you where the calories were burnt and which points of the workout, and then your impact on your day, like how many steps it's worth and all the rest of it. Okay, and my peak heart rate was 119. That's the maximum I went up to. Most of the time I was sort of in the high 60s. Okay, no, sorry, most of the time I was between 70 and 120, but I was around 80 beats per minute, which is what it said, isn't it? Yeah, 81. So I was around 81 for average. But then at the end, this was me just actually talking to someone, and I forgot to turn my phone off. Well, not turn my phone off, turn the watch off. This was just me talking to someone that was asking me about martial arts, so I was just letting them know about something. But then after that little talk, I then did another workout, which was a combination of stretching and cardio. I did rowing. And so I just did select workout, so it knows that I'm working out, but it doesn't necessarily know what exercise I'm doing, because it doesn't have the full range of exercises on there. It has run, weights, things like this, bike, like I said before, but it doesn't actually have like boxing and things like this. So I did a little bit of boxing, a little bit of rowing, a little bit of stretching, and you can see that my heart rate never got the peak heart rate was 91, and I have to get over 91, I think it is, for me to hit the fat burn cycle. And I'll describe what fat burn, cardio and peak heart zones are in a minute, because it actually describes it. It's important to know. But you can see that, yes, I was exercising, but I wasn't really doing anything to cause a significant strain on my body, or even sort of a real noticeable increase in calorie burning, for example. So it's nice to have that. You can see the calories burnt there displayed again, and again another impact on my day. Okay, and then I did a 10-minute ab workout, which actually I only did 4 minutes of. As I said, it was bloody fucking hard. My average heart rate in my previous workout was I was doing my cardio and my stretching, and that was 78, and I burnt 39 calories. During my abs, I burnt 12 calories, had an average heart rate of 62. You can see I'm starting to recover now from like the weights and stuff, which is my primary aspect of the workout. And you can see, like, when I was doing my abs, my heart rate just kept going down and down and down. My calories towards the end, however, went up and up and up, because I was burning like anything. It was a really good workout that my watch was telling me to do. I loved it. It was fantastic. So, really happy overall with this Fitbit and the app that comes, you download to associate with it, because it really does, especially for me. For me, the main things are, yes, keeping track of my workouts, that's fantastic. Keeping track of the calories burnt over a day, which takes your BMR, your basal metabolic rate. It does that with your heart rate as well. So it's tailored to you. It's not just sort of standard medical figures in there, but they've got a proper formula working out everything, and along with data that you're putting in, like your heart rate and that. It's got the calories that you're burning when you're exercising added to it, and on top of that, then you can also then, if you use the food function like I do, you can see the amount of food you're having, and this is going to really help me with my food problem. As I say, my eating disorder, it's going to help me eat enough. The sleep is, I just find it interesting. I don't know if that's actually useful, but I find it interesting. And the water is actually, when I do that, it's actually going to encourage me to drink just water more so now. Obviously, I will have a sugary drink when I'm training, because you got to keep your energy levels to a certain level. But when I'm at home relaxing, or I'm resting or whatever, I will just drink more water or more fruit juice, things like this. So that's really everything, and I hope you liked it. There's someone at my door, so it's good timing, so I've got to go. But thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you get interested in the Fitbit Blaze yourself. It's a useful tool. Thank you. Bye bye.